What's up, LEGO fans? Welcome to my channel, Pete's Bricks, the LEGO channel for the common LEGO fan. And today we are going to be looking at every modern LEGO Clone Trooper head. In the year 2020, LEGO decided to finally retire what is now known as the Angry Clone head. This is the same head that they've used on every Clone Trooper for a number of years. At the time, I thought it was fine. You know, all clones look the same.
What do you mean they all look the same?
So it would make sense that they have the angry expression. However, this skin tone was just a bit too pale and wasn't super accurate to the clones as seen in the Clone Wars and in the movies. So in 2020, LEGO introduced the light nougat head. It's already been, like 2 years and a little more? 2020, 2023, yep. It feels like they just came out yesterday. Honestly, time flies like crazy. In this video, I wanted to take a look at every new clone trooper that uses this updated skin color, since they all kind of go together, and LEGO has been making a lot of new clones recently. Yes, you have the kind of basic standard clone head, which we will take a look at, but we also have a bunch of named characters. Before we jump right into this video, please leave a comment, leave a like, and subscribe. It only takes 1 second and it would help my channel out a lot. But without further ado, let's get right into this video. First of all, I like to get the basic clone trooper head out of the way. So this figure right here, this 501st Trooper, is what started the brand new style of clone trooper helmet that ditched the light peach and brought in the nougat for all the skin tones. These three clones are all from different sets and they all feature the exact same head. You can get the 187th Legion clone, or the purple clone, from set 75342 Republic Fighter Tank. The 212th Legion clone, or the orange clone, is from set 75337 ATTE Walker. And lastly, the 501st Legion clone is from the 501st Legion Clone Trooper set, which is set number 75280. Overall, I think this head is a great change and a major upgrade from the Angry Clone head. It's much more accurate in terms of skin tone, and because of this major clone overhaul, I think it made all the named clone characters, which I'm going to talk about next, all the more accurate. I did want to briefly mention set 75345 501st Clone Troopers Battle Pack, which does come with some more interesting 501st clones, like this specialist right here. But of course, all the clones in that set do feature the same identical faces. Now, Hunter and all of the Bad Batch members that I will be showing you guys, a total of 5 by the way, all come from the same set. That is set 75314, the Bad Batch Attack Shuttle. In this video, we are focusing primarily on the character's face. However, the details on this figure I think are really great, especially the metallic printing on the torso, legs, and helmet. As for the face, we have a red headband printed underneath that hair. I would have preferred a molded headband hair piece, but for what it is, I think it really looks like Hunter from the Bad Batch. Removing the hair, we can get a better look at his face. The gray is actually like some war paint on half of his face. I'm pretty sure it's paint. Actually, I don't know if it's paint or not. I kind of assumed it was. It kind of gives me those Rambo vibes. There's also a very small skull print on the left side of his red headband. Looking at his alternate head expression, he has a bit more of a focused and determined look. I do think the updated skin tone of nougat looks great for this figure, and I really couldn't see him with the lighter one. Up next, we have Tech with that awesome and pretty large dual molded helmet. So Tech is a little confusing to me because in the show, in some instances, he looks like he's a little bit lighter skinned compared to Hunter. However, at other times, it looks like they have the same skin color. Just for the sake of consistency, I do think that this skin color is the most appropriate for Tech. He does have an alternate face. The face with the goggles works very well with the helmet. My only criticism would be that the helmet is pushed down all the way here, and you can still see some of his skin above the goggles. It's really not supposed to be like that. Turning the head around, we get an alternate expression for Tech with a raised eyebrow, which is perfectly appropriate for the character. However, I think a major plus of this head is that it could be used for any Clone Trooper minifigure. There is nothing Tech specific to this face. There's no scar, no facial tattoo, no paint, nothing of the sort. So I think that this could be a massable head and an option for those of you who want something a bit different than the generic clone face that all the other normal clones have. Right here we have the heavy of the group. This is Wrecker. Now Wrecker is probably my favorite Bad Batch character in terms of the show and just how funny he is. He loves explosions, which makes me wonder if that's the reason why his left eye right there is missing. Who knows? There is significant scarring on the left side of his head, as you can see there, as depicted by those lighter scars. He also features stubble throughout his head. On the back, we have no back printing, but I think one expression is perfectly good enough for this minifigure. I didn't stress it for the Hunter figure, but in case you're looking to get any more massable alternate expressions for your other clones, Tech is going to be the only member of the Bad Batch in which that's possible, as Wrecker's face, as you can see here, is very specific to the character. Right here we have Crosshair in his Imperial clone uniform. He does have that very specific target over the right eye right there and a very menacing glare. Just like Wrecker, he does not feature an alternate head expression, and just like Tech, I feel like this might be a little too dark for him. Again, I do know that Lego likes to keep things consistent, and I do appreciate that on one level. However, as seen in the show, he does look a bit more pale and might even be closer to Echo in terms of skin tone. Speaking of Echo, here we have, well, Echo. He is the only new modern clone to feature the lighter skin tone that was used previously for all of the older clone minifigures. Before this set was announced and we knew what the figures would look like, I was speculating that they would either use this lighter skin color or maybe even a light gray. I actually wrote an article for Blocks on that, so I'll put that in the description if you'd like to read that online. Echo does feature some printing on the back of the head. They basically turned him into sort of a Lobot-like character with that computer built into his brain, I guess. And all of those small little round tube things are from when he was connected to all those computers as seen in Clone Wars Season 7. Here's a quick recap before we move on to other named clone figures. Of course, you got Hunter, Wrecker, Tech, Crosshair. They all have the nougat colored skin, while Echo has the light peach, which is the older skin that all the clones used to have. I do think, this was a good choice by Lego, even though I thought Tech and maybe Crosshair had a little lighter skin as compared to Wrecker and Hunter. I think keeping them all consistent was the better choice. Plus, it makes Echo stand out, and I do think giving Echo gray skin might have been a little too far, even though he did look pretty ghastly in the show. The next clone we're looking at is Omega, the only female clone as seen in the Bad Batch. You can find Omega in set 75323, the Justifier. Of course, the Justifier also came with Hunter, but the Hunter minifigure is the exact same one you get in the Bad Batch shuttle. What's really striking about Omega is that she is the only female clone. I have not caught up with season 2. I hope that'll be explained a bit more. Of course, Omega means the end, so yes, she is the last clone ever made in the Star Wars universe. She features two expressions, so you have the closed mouth with the smile, and around back you have a more ferocious, angry face. In terms of printing, I think her torso is great. I really like the arm printing. I think it really elevates the figure. As for the face, I really can't see you using this in other clones, since she is, and I stress, the only female clone to ever exist. Still, it's very nice to get her in the skin color. I think it goes great with her brothers in the Bad Batch. And continuing our nougat colored clones, here we have Phase 2 Commander Commander Cody. You can find him in set 75377 ATTE Walker. Now, when this set was announced and we knew we were getting this figure, I was a little nervous that LEGO might cheap out and just give him that basic clone face. If you look very carefully, you can see that that is not what LEGO did, because
only the best is good enough.
He has very small scarring right above his left eyebrow. You can see the scarring starts up there and travels down along the brow. This makes this figure very accurate to the source material as seen in Star Wars Episode 3 and in the Clone Wars. It is a very angry face. I suppose you could use it for some other generic clones, but it really is distinguished by that scar above the brow. Cody features no alternate head printing, but he does sport a pretty cool printed jetpack right on the back. This is one of those figures that LEGO fans have wanted for years, but I am pretty happy that we got him when we did, because if we had gotten him years ago, he probably would have come with that lighter skin tone that somebody like Echo has, and not this much more accurate nougat skin tone. So, you know, we had to wait a while, but I'm really happy with what we got. Finally, we have Boba Fett, specifically the older Book of Boba Fett / The Mandalorian version of the character. You can find this figure in 3 different sets. Set 75334, Boba Fett's Starship Microfighter, Set 75312, Boba Fett's Starship, and Set 75326, Boba Fett's Throne Room. The figure is essentially the same in all the sets. The only difference is that in the Micro Fighter, they did not include the antenna, but that is a pretty basic and easy piece to acquire, so I consider it the same figure. Very nice torso, leg, arm printing. LEGO fans have been complaining that the helmet is not the accurate color. It should actually be the same dark green that the armor on the torso is, and I gotta agree with this. You know, sometimes LEGO fans can complain about, very minute details that don't really matter. I myself am guilty of that plenty of times, but I really do think that LEGO could have just repainted the helmet. I think that would have made the figure a lot more accurate. Though the helmet might not be the most accurate, I think that the face is absolutely perfect. I think it looks exactly like Tamura Morrison as seen in the Book of Boba Fett. I really like the scarring. I really like how graphically consistent it is with characters like Wrecker, who also feature scarring, and they use the same white lines, so you just have that bit of consistency across your clone figures. I think it makes the figures overall more professional, and when you put them together for a display, they really go together, and it makes the whole collection of clones very cohesive. And yes, Star Wars fans, I know Boba Fett is technically not the same as the other clones. He is an unaltered clone of his father Jango Fett. However, he is basically a clone. Taking a look at the back of his head, you can see some even more detail and some scarring. Very nice touch by LEGO. I don't think they had to do that. I think the front face portrait is enough, but I do like that they went the extra step with that face print. Well, there you have every modern clone trooper. I personally think they all look great. My favorites have to be Commander Cody. I mean, I've been waiting so long for Cody, especially Phase 2, but to get him with the updated head, I think is even better. Of all the Bad Batch, I think I really like Hunter. I like the gray printing on the face, and I think the older Boba Fett from the Book of Boba is done very nicely. Other figures I would like to see, I would love an updated Jango, as we do have Lego Jango Fett, but he does have that older skin color, so a Jango with new printing, updated skin color, updated everything, I think would be very good. I would also like to see a Captain Rex. Please, LEGO, give us a brand new Phase 2 Captain Rex. It actually wouldn't be that hard. They just need some new printing. The newer clone helmet that I showed you guys that the Specialist has allows for the whole attachments to be on the side, so we can finally get a Phase 2 Rex with his correct antenna, as the previous Clone Wars version, which is very expensive, and yes, I do have it. I got it when it came out. It is inaccurate because it does not have holes on the sides of the helmet to allow for that rangefinder attachment. One last thing I did want to mention is that yes, the angry clone face was used in pretty much every LEGO clone. However, I do remember LEGO did make one variation. So the angry clone would have his mouth open, while the variation had kind of a smirk and a closed mouth. I would appreciate it if Lego made or just made some different expressions just to spice things up and keep things interesting. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you're still here, why not subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this. Have a good day, God bless, and I will see you guys in the next Lego video on my channel, Pete's Bricks.